What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I am Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson, and as always, I am usually joined by the podcast dad, Chris Hoops. Conspicuous by his absence, he is unavailable tonight, but we'll be back for our Wind Down Wednesday episode coming up at 8:30, so stick around for that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This weekend, all eyes are on Georgia Independent Wrestling with the Georgia Wrestling History Awards, sponsored in part by the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Thank you once again to Michael Kajust, Nagicism, and Interface for joining us this past Monday. If you've not gotten a chance to check that episode out, go head over to our archives over on YouTube to check out the full episode. Tonight, I am joined by a number of nominees, presenters, everybody that's been involved, mainstays of the Georgia wrestling scene. So we're going to get right on into it since tonight is all about them. So immediately to my left, returning to the Wrestling Junkies podcast is Hakeem Young. If you've not gotten to check out our interview with Hakeem, again, head over to the archives and check that out. It was a great conversation. Next to Hakeem, we have got Nick Halen. Under him, we have Hollywood Hunter James, as well as Skrilla the Great, and we will be joined by Deep South promoter and booker Eric Adams this evening as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. How's everybody?
Fantastic.
I'm great.
Awesome. Well, again, we greatly appreciate you guys joining us tonight, talking all things awards show. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Here on the Wrestling Junkies podcast, we believe that all wrestlers are superheroes and everybody has an origin story. You guys are obviously nominated or involved in the awards coming up this weekend, but we're going to take it way back to the beginning, and I just want to get from you guys some of your earliest memories of professional wrestling. I'm going to start with Nick and kind of work my way around. Hakeem, you've been on the show before. I know that we've talked a little bit about this. Again, go check out that interview in our archives. So Nick, Hunter, Skrilla, I'm just going to start with Nick, but tell us your earliest memories of professional wrestling.
My earliest memories of pro wrestling are seeing a commercial for, I think, Clash of Champions 91, and actually watching the program on TBS and seeing Sting for the first time. And then I think a few weeks later, I'm in the video store when they still had those in the early 90s, and finding a tape of SummerSlam 91 and seeing Bret the Hitman Hart and Mr. Perfect, and I was off to the races after I saw that match. I mean, I was hooked. I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I mean, that was it for me. And Bret Hart's cool factor of the jacket, the glasses, the hair, the gear, not afraid to wear pink, is such a girly thing for guys at the time. But I think between Bret and Sting, that was it for me, man. I had never seen anything else that was cooler.
I like it. And before we went live tonight, you were talking about a match that you were watching. I believe it was Roddy Piper and Jerry Lawler, if I had heard you say that right, that you're doing some studying. So even as you're getting ready to talk to us, you're a student of the game, and I love that. I will say I am a Shawn Michaels guy. I'm just going to throw that out there. But I still think that we can have a great conversation tonight.
He's my 1B. Bret's my 1A. So
Okay. I like that. Skrilla, how about you, man? Tell us about some of your earliest memories of pro wrestling.
Man, for me, I want to say it was like 95. I had seen wrestling before, but it was really like around the end of 95 where it really kicked in for me. And I saw Macho Man, and he was just cutting a larger than life promo. And I think this was around the time it was like Macho, Sting, and Luger, and they all had like a storyline, including Hogan. And it was larger than life. And I was like, okay, this is something to watch. And then it eventually became something that grew into me wanting to do it. And I'm just grateful that I got an opportunity to do it, man. So thanks much.
Yeah, absolutely. Hunter, how about you?
So mine was, I'm a little younger. Sorry, Nick and Skrilla. But the first thing I remember is the Ultimate X. It was AJ, it was Petey Williams, and it was Chris Sabin. And the first thing I always remember is the inside out bump that AJ takes that we all thought he died a little. His 9 lives is gone. And for some odd reason, Hunter James thought, that's what we're going to do for the rest of your life.
Love that. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think for me, my earliest memories were Jeff Hardy. It was kind of that summer of the McMahon Helmsley era. So Not quite attitude. We're on our way out of it, but definitely plenty of memories. But Hakeem, we'll round it out with you, man. I know that again, you've been here before, but we want to hear all about it. What got you into wrestling?
Yeah, unfortunately for most people, like Hunter James, I'm young, very young. So, me, my earliest was actually a lot of Samoa Joe. A lot of Samoa Joe was the earliest wrestling I seen. I was a TNA guy. I really was. I really do not remember really locking into WWE until like 2011. 2012 was when I really started watching WWE. For me, it was more so of the excitement. Like, I'm watching TNA and I'm like, oh, I want to do this now. Like, I want to flip off. I want to go crazy and go off the deep end now. Like, and that was really a lot of my early experiences. The person I became the biggest fan of at an early age was actually Mr. Perfect as well. When I did start watching WWE, I went luckily I had family who watched, so they always was telling me things, and they had VHS and old tapes. So a lot of the earliest stuff I saw of WWE when I did start watching it was Mr. Perfect. So those are two of the people that I really love to watch, and those are my earliest memories of wrestling.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, again, obviously all eyes are on the state of Georgia and their independent wrestling scene this weekend. I know that there's Platinum Championship Wrestling, Lariato Pro, Deep South, a number of others here. But Hunter, we'll start this one with you and kind of work our way back around. But tell us some of the promotions that you've been doing work for around Georgia.
Anywhere and everywhere. Mainly, I would say Southern Fried, PCW, and Southern Honor are kind of my three mainstays. Those are the three that I'm consistently at every show, no matter what. Everywhere else, it's anywhere and everywhere I can be. Every rep is worth a rep, and I'm going to take every opportunity I can to roll out the red carpet and let Hollywood walk across it.
I like it. Skrilla, how about you, man?
It's kind of the same answer. Any and everywhere. My main places are IWE, Deep South, and PCW at the moment, but SVW as well. They're still working out some things, but man, I'm open to be at other places too.
I like it. Hakeem, Nick, I'm guessing it's the same vibe for you guys.
No, actually, Platinum.
Okay.
Platinum's home. Platinum will always be home. For me, currently, it's Platinum Championship Wrestling, Deep South Wrestling, and Coastal Empire, who you will see a lot of Hakeem Young on in the next coming year or so. Keep maintenance to the turf, and I'll run for 150 every game. Keep it simple.
Okay. I like that. Good answer. Nick, how about you, man?
So Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, and Southern Honor Wrestling, and then I do a smaller promotion called UWF, which stands for Ultimate Wrestling Federation. They usually run Sundays, but I really like that one because I'm able to work with younger talent or more inexperienced talent to where I feel like I'm helping those guys grow and kind of hone their craft at the same time. So that's really important to me. I haven't been there in a while, but I would like to shout out PCW because when I made my comeback at the end of 2020, like Matt Hankins and like Brian Blaze, they were like the first guys to just put me out there with no leash, no handcuffs, no nothing. They let me be me, let me have the attitude, let me be like, can you cuss on here?
Yeah, have at it, man.
So they let me just be like the bad motherfucker in the ring, like, Dynamite Kid style, just go crazy. And then me and Narcissism just really kicked off each other's comebacks to wrestling that way together. So big shout out and mad love for PCW.
Yeah. PCW has definitely been good to our podcast as well. So anytime that we get to have any talent on that calls out a home promotion, we're certainly thrilled to do that. I'm going to turn the spotlight on Hakeem here because this weekend coming up, you're nominated for Rookie of the Year, and I know that we have talked on the show about what 2023 has meant to you and what your career has meant to you. being nominated this year, what is that meaning for you? Take us through kind of the emotions you're feeling as you're leading up to this weekend.
Oh man. It's a roller coaster, man. And people don't really understand how serious this was to me, and it's not because I just want to be like, oh yeah, I won an award, I won a Georgia Wrestling History Award. It for all the nominees, for Donald Jakes, for Chip Schuyler, for Saul Wright, for Alexander Lev, for all of us, it's a testament to the work that we put in throughout the year. For us to be the new faces, the newcomers, and to step in the ring and to step into these promotions and actually not only just help ourselves, but help the promotions as well. Like, you know, they have another reliable name they could use. They have another reliable face, somebody who is honestly just, you know, bringing in new types of people, helping out, you know, doing whatever we have to do to showcase our abilities. And it's honestly an honor. It really is an honor. And for my peers to nominate me, that just a testament to the hard work and dedication that I've been putting in all year. It really is Hakeem Young's, you know, it oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. It takes me aback because when I heard that I was nominated, I was like, oh, this is real. Like, this is a real thing. You know, it wasn't even on the cards at first. It wasn't going to be a nomination. You know, you couldn't. It wasn't up there until me and another nominee, Chip Schuyler, excuse me. We advocated for it. Like, we was up there saying it week after week after week. And to see that it's coming to not only fruition, but it's blossoming into something even greater than that. Honestly, it's amazing. It really is amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and you know, congratulations. It's certainly a hell of an honor. I'm going to open this up to everybody. I'm going to start with Hunter. Just because we haven't seen the full list of nominees or anything like that, but one, are you not nominated, or two, are you involved this weekend in any capacity?
Yeah, I am nominated for Wrestler of the Year alongside Nick, and I know he'll touch on that, and Best Male Performer. And I'm looking to not just win Best Male Performer again, because that's kind of what I pride myself on. I want to be the star of the show. I'm here. I don't care if I'm the first match or the last match. I'm trying to be the main event no matter where I am on that card. I want to be the main attraction no matter what, because that's what I do. The hard work doesn't stop once we walk through the curtain, once we go through straight to the ring or go back through the curtain. I'm a performer no matter where I go. I want to entertain no matter where I am. And the fact is Nick's the best wrestler in this world, in my opinion. Let's kind of compare it to Brett and Sean. Bret Hart of Georgia Wrestling right here, no doubt about it. Got no way you can convince me otherwise. You can't convince me I'm not the Shawn Michaels of this state either. You pick your flavor of ice cream. I'm Shawn Michaels. He's Bret Hart. You want the best wrestler in the state? He's right there. You want the best male performer? I'm right here.
Are we setting up a 60-minute Iron Man match here on this show? Is this kind of what I'm hearing happening?
Anytime. Because we remember who won that one.
We do. Skrilla, how about you? What do you got going on this weekend, man?
I'm nominated for Feud of the Year versus the state of Georgia. I mean, that speaks for itself. And I am also up for Wrestler of the Year. And in my eyes, I'm the Wrestler of the Year because I'm the guy that nobody paid no attention to. I'm the diamond in the rough. Even though my accolades speak for themselves. And that's cool that nobody's paying attention because I'm going to rise to the top like I always do. I love being at the bottom and being underestimated. So with that being said, I also see those guys like Nick Halen and Cruel and Hunter as well as Bryce. And I dare say I faced all of them except I think Judice is also in that. And he's about the only one that I haven't faced on there. And I've learned something from each and every one of those guys. And with that being said, I learned something from them and I took it in and I soaked it in and became greatness. And this is where we are now. So I believe I am the Wrestler of the Year.
Okay. Nick, the floor is yours, man.
So I'm nominated for Wrestler of the Year, obviously, Promo of the Year, and Technical Wrestler of the Year, which I won Wrestler of the Year last year. It was a tie, but with AC Mack, which is, nothing wrong with that. AC Mack is a tremendous guy, but I did beat him in our contest we had at Southern Honor. Technical Wrestler of the Year, I won last year. A lot of people looking back at Chip Day, who was, and don't tell him I said this, but he's probably my favorite independent wrestler of all time. He's got that Bret Hart factor. He's just cool. Don't matter what he does.
We ain't talking about Chip. Come on.
And then Promo of the Year is promos are something that's really I've started coming into my own in over the last 12 months, I'd say, as far as being able to tell a story to people with a microphone, whether it's sitting here like this, challenging a guy for a match, or actually doing it live in front of, 300 or 400 people and just controlling the room. Because once you get them right here in the palm of your hand, you own them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as it's nice to be nominated and be acknowledged by your peers and everything. But to me, these awards don't make or break me. They don't make my pockets any bigger or smaller. But it's nice to be thought of, and it's really nice to win. I can tell you that from experience. But at the end of the day, I know who I am. I know what I do, and I know what I'm going out there to do.
Yeah. I mean, I love that take on it, and actually, that kind of dovetails perfectly into our the next question I have for you guys. And I'll start with you on this one, Nick. What's that?
I was about to add to what Nick said.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
He's one of those guys that have legit paved the way for guys like me and Hunter and Hakeem. We look up to those guys. Last year, I was chopping at the bits to get in the ring with that guy. And he's he's the bar, along with a couple of other guys. But Nick has really set the tone, and I want to say thank you for everything that you do for Georgia wrestling.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Dude, if it wasn't for Nick, who knows where any of us would be? And the guys that he surrounded himself with before his break, and then him coming back and setting the damn world on fire with what he's doing now. I mean, I know I wouldn't have gotten as far as I have without Nick being right there telling me what I've done wrong and what I've done right. And I know I've thanked him a million times over, and I will never stop thanking him.
Agreed.
I mean, that's fantastic.
You guys are going to turn me into I'm going to be like Ric Flair up here at a third Hall of Fame speech. Y'all keep up.
Well, I mean, this is such a perfect transition here, and I will start with you on this one because we have a mix of veteran talent and younger talent here on this panel tonight. And this is a question for everybody: how do you stay motivated and inspired in a notoriously competitive industry?
I like the competitiveness. I like being on the elliptical for 60 minutes. Challenging myself because I know I'm going to wrestle Adrian Hawkins for an hour, or I know I'm going to wrestle Jedias for an hour. It's really like Hunter said, the work doesn't stop once you go back through that curtain. That's where the work is at the gym. Even if it's, for me, it's 10 in bed gym every day, cardio every day. It's doing something. It's studying. Like right now, wrestling's on my screen. And I would say personally, it's for me. I've been through a lot over the last 10 years of my life. And the one thing besides rock and roll that's always been there for me is professional wrestling. I could always turn it on and watch it, even when I wasn't wrestling. So today, I was out and about, and I hear this guy insult professional wrestling, and then I kindly jumped in his shit and put him in his place.
Good.
This is my passion. Just like some people draw, some people rap, some people play guitar, some people are professional wrestlers, some people are weightlifters. But I don't knock anybody for what their passion is. But this one's mine. Whether it's Savio Vega's on my TV right now, whether it's watching him or watching Brett or anybody else, or just talking to you guys about wrestling. That's what I was put on this planet for. And I explained to everybody that I am a very selfish person when it comes to pro wrestling. The only thing I will sacrifice pro wrestling for is my children. That's it. I mean, it's the love of my life. It really is.
I like that. Great answer. Skrilla, how about you, man?
Man, he pretty much touched everything. especially at. I mean, I don't know if Nick is older than me or not. I think he is, but I'm still like somewhere in that area, and it'll be my 10th year in April. And like I said, man, I started late. I started when I was like 25, just getting an opportunity, and I started in the backyard for Christ's sakes. Like that was shunned upon, and so for me to even from going to the backyard to accomplishing the things that I accomplished, like being in the ring with Eric Bischoff, handing me the Deep South title and stuff like that. Like this is what dreams are made of, and like I said, I'm super grateful to even be amongst these guys and learning. And that's another thing about being my age. I still learn from guys like Hakeem. Like Hakeem helped me with my next gimmick, and I learned stuff from Hunter, and I learned a lot from Nick. It's just these guys, we all help each other, and that's what I try to get these guys to understand too. It's like, man, we can't be bickering because we all in this together. I know we're all
Yeah.
competitive. But at the end of the day, Georgia wrestling is Georgia wrestling, man. And I mean, we need to be together just in case Florida wants to come and bring it on, or North Carolina, or any other state that wants to bring it. They got to know that Georgia wrestling is the best wrestling you'll ever see in your life. So come get some or stay home.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. Yeah, let's switch it over to some of the younger talent here. Hunter, the floor is yours, man.
Give me that question one more time because I want to answer it a little differently.
Yeah, no, you're good. So how do you stay motivated and inspired in such a competitive industry?
I've been an athlete my whole life. I was not a great athlete at all when I was younger. I think that's the best kept secret in Georgia. I think my dad had literally spilled the beans at that at a show once, and they were like, "Oh, he used to be the chubby fat kid that used to wrestle on the mat and lose in 30 seconds." And then puberty hit, and the workhorse came out. And no matter what task was put in front of me, as soon as 8th grade hit, nothing was stopping me. And I knew I wanted to be a professional wrestler ever since I saw that Ultimate X, but it really started grinding those gears, and it started to click in my head to see what was it going to take in the gym, outside of the gym, on the wrestling mat, in the wrestling ring. I was training when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, slowly, inch by inch, but having my first match at 16, 17 years old and running with the ball since then and taking in every bit of that knowledge I can, because somebody has either given me that knowledge because they've done it and it's worked, or they failed with that knowledge and now they're telling me what not to do, so it'll get me that much further. I mean, whether it's somebody on this panel, podcast, whatever we want to call it, or somebody in a locker room, the simple things motivate me the most, whether it's progress, whether it's gear coming in sometimes motivates the hell out of me, because every single set of my gear has some kind of significance to it. So when I look at that, it reminds me that I used to not be this great athlete and this great anything, or a person, human being. I used to be cocky, and I still am cocky in my own way, but I was cocky for no reason. Now I can strut around and say, I did this and I've earned this, and now I'm going to earn every bit of what I take from this moment on until the last match I have.
Yeah, I mean, that's immaculately said. Hakeem, I mean, yeah, follow all of that, man.
Oh man,
All right,
so
buddy.
my motivation is a little different. It's kind of bittersweet as well, because this is going on 10 years. September 18, 2014, my dad passed away. For me, the motivation is knowing that he never got to see shit since he passed away. He never got to see me win state championship in football in 8th grade. He never got to see the performance I had that game. 10 tackles, literally an onside recovery to end the game, to win the game. It's a lot he didn't see. He didn't see me play varsity baseball. He didn't see me play travel baseball. He didn't get to see me box. He didn't see none of that. So my motivation is waking up every day and knowing that I can't stop. I can't. I honestly can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what phase of my career that I get to, whatever the case may be. It's no reason to stop. I have no. It's tunnel vision. Like, it's literally tunnel vision with me and quitting. I refuse to see it. I just don't see it out of any side that I look out of. No, it's a hurt that I've transitioned into a pusher. Like, it pushes me.
Yeah.
It keeps me running. It keeps my motor going. And until I just physically can't no more, I won't stop. So that's my motivation. I have a little sister. She was born that same year he died. It's my only sister on that side of family. Every time I look at her, I'm like, I gotta be great for not only myself but for you and for the legacy that we carry on going forward. So that's my motivation.
Love that. Again, another question to all of you guys, and Hakeem, we'll start this one with you. Really, regardless of who wins this weekend, you're all nominees. You're all part of Georgia independent wrestling history. How does that make you guys feel? Hakeem, we'll start with you.
It's great. Like Nick said, it doesn't change anything about us. It doesn't change anything about who we are or what we're getting paid at the end of the day or whatever the case may be. But what it does is it establishes a pattern that can transform from our generation to the next generation to the next generation, and they'll get to see the greatness that that came before them, and by subsequently the greatness that'll come after them. What it honestly does is it etches our name in stone as these were some of Georgia's finest at the time. This is why they was put in this position to be nominated for this award, to win this championship, to do whatever they did in the state. And I think the awards just kind of caps off how significant and how consistent the performers are in this state. We have people with multiple. We have Skrilla and Nick with multiple. I don't know, Hunter, if you have multiple, but I know you're in multiple. When people see that, they're like, oh shit, what did these guys do for them to not only just be nominated for Wrestler of the Year, but for best promo, best match, best feud, whatever the case may be. And I just think that we can inspire the very next set of people that's coming, or the people that's even coming now, that can just be like, this is kind of the bar. Like Skrilla said earlier, this is the bar. This isn't the end goal, but it's kind of sort of where we want to be at this moment. And the awards don't just signify all of that, but what it is it's a nice reminder that, okay, you're being appreciated for what you're doing. And I think that's all in all what the significance of the awards, in my opinion. I think that's what being nominated kind of brings to that table for us.
Yeah. I mean, very, very astute take. Hunter, how about you?
Looking back at all the Georgia wrestlers that have gone through, the biggest pro wrestler of all time that probably everyone knows is a Georgia guy, Hulk Hogan, whether you love him or you hate him. And then we look forward, and you can go all the way to AJ Styles and Austin Theory and Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, whatever you want to call them. And we're a part of that in some way, shape, or form, whether somebody makes it to that level or not. Of course, everyone's game plan at some point or another is to make it to that level of notoriety, to be on consistent national television, and to collect the paycheck that they collect, because I know that's my goal.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. And we can say that I want the paycheck that says World Wrestling Entertainment on it every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And those guys were here in Georgia making names for themselves under Georgia Championship Wrestling, under Anarchy Wrestling, under any promotion ever, because they knew that they had to put in those reps. And now that we follow that blueprint, the blueprint set for us, we just have to follow it and see what path that blueprint takes us. And it's not about awards, championships, X, Y, and Z. It's about what the fans react to. Whether they love me or they hate me, I'm going to get a reaction out of them because I'm going to earn it. Those guys did it, and I'm going to do it too. It goes back to being a performer. And that's what we all are in our own sense of athletic ability inside those 4 rows, those 4 posts. So that's what it means to me to be a Georgia wrestler. We have a blueprint to follow. Now it's our turn to take the path and see where it takes us.
Yeah. Let's turn it over to our veterans, Skrilla. I mean, again, regardless of who wins, history is going to be made this weekend. How do you feel being part of Georgia wrestling history?
I mean, look at it. Name another state that's doing an award show. Like, nobody's doing somewhat of a Slammies, you know? Like, there's no other state doing what we're doing right now. So that in itself makes us special. Like, and I mean, you may never see nothing like this ever again. Somebody may try to do it, but they will never imitate it, but never duplicate it, right? We're the first to do it. So, I mean, we're in a class of our own and in a league of our own. So we should all feel very grateful to be in the position we're in right now. We're making history in ourselves. And like you said, it doesn't matter who wins those things. I'm just going to be happy to be in there with these guys. And we're not worried about who's winning this match and who winning that match. We're all just in there to fellowship and have a good time, man.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Nick, you've got the last word, man.
I'm tremendously proud to be a part of Georgia wrestling. I mean, it's my life. It's been my life for the last 21 years. I mean, what else can you say about it? Like Skrilla said, like, who else is doing this around this country? Like, are there award shows in Seattle or, Missouri or anywhere else? No, those guys, and I'll take Missouri for sure. Like the Kenway, every weekend drives to Georgia to wrestle here because that's where the Joe Blacks are, the Murder Ones, the Nick Halens, the Hunter James, Skrillas, Hakeems, everybody, the kids, and the vets, like that. We're all here. We're just fortunate enough that we're all here at the same time. It's almost like this is our era of independent wrestling at the moment. And I mean, it says a lot when a guy, I'll name drop. It says a lot when a guy like AJ Styles is coming off an injury and the 2 guys that are asked to come work out with him are Hunter James and Nick Halen. I mean, wow. He doesn't have to do that. I've known that guy for 20 years, but he doesn't have to ask, hey, can you come out here and blow me up? Even though he blew both of us up and we were dying at the end.
But he wasn't touching me, don't lie.
But I mean, I think something like that says all you need to know about the kind of talent that's around here right now.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. I can't think of, any state or region even that is doing something like you guys are doing. And we're certainly very honored to, be a sponsor for this event as well as to have you guys join us. And we certainly thank all of you guys for joining us. Before I let all of you go, and I'm going to start this one with Hunter, just because I think this plays into the performer aspect. You got to give me some details on the drip. What are we getting ready to do this weekend, man?
Well, if I told you what I was wearing, then it wouldn't be a surprise when I show up.
That's fair.
Let's just say, as the only blonde on this podcast, I am going to dress out. Of course, I've got my personal blonde. I've got my beautiful girlfriend that is telling me exactly what to wear because I'm not thinking about what I'm going to wear. I'm thinking about what body part's next at the gym. I'm thinking about what match is next. I'm thinking about how I'm going to win that because that's what Hunter James does every single weekend. Roll out that red carpet. Let's see what star ends up on my Walk of Fame. And Saturday night, we show up, show off, and show out just like Hunter James always does.
That is the most Shawn Michaels answer that I think that I could have ever heard on this podcast. So no notes.
I hope Mr. WrestleMania is proud of me.
All right, I'll open it up to you guys. Feel free to give any details on the drip if you'd like. If not, totally fine. I'm 4 fucking states away, so I'm not going to get to see it live. So I'm just curious. Inquiring minds want to know.
I'm dressing.
So I'm a very. Go ahead, Skrilla.
No. That's all I had to say, bro. I ain't.
Okay.
I'm kind of with Hunter on that. I ain't gonna tell you what I'm wearing.
That's
But,
fair. Okay.
Well, damn, that's
I'll
why I
send you a
did it. That's
picture,
why I
bro.
said it. Damn.
We'll send you a picture.
That's fair. Yeah, I was gonna say you
I'm not
can't
sending you a
blame a
picture.
guy for trying. As I said, I think you're on mute there, Hakeem. I think you're on mute, maybe.
No. Hunter said
There
he's
you go.
not sending a picture. I didn't plan on sending one either. Look, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Look. Listen.
Face will
All
be
I'm
there.
gonna say
Face will be
is,
there.
I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm not gonna give too much. All I'm gonna say is, if you're going to watch the NFL honors for drip and class, you could just watch Hakeem Young at the 2024 Georgia Wrestling History Award show and gala, baby. You don't
Okay.
have to wait till the NFL season is almost over. You don't have to wait till the NBA honors come around. You don't even have to wait to draft day. Wild Wing Cafe, hell, roll out the red carpet. It starts at 6. And come see Hakeem Young dressed to impress.
The whole phone knocked over on that one.
Love it. Well, we certainly wish we could be there in person to join you guys and celebrate maybe next year. At least that's our tentative plan. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Before we let everybody go,
I heard live stream for it. I think they're live streaming it, so
okay,
you might be able
even
to catch
better.
it.
Yeah. Love it. I hope you guys have a shot or two of tequila for me. Before I let all of you go, we'll start with Hakeem. Where can everybody find you guys on social media? We'll start with you, Hakeem.
Oh man, you can find me at DTHEE2Es Hakeem Young. Facebook is just Hakeem Young. Just type that in. Instagram and X has the same. Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The Hakeem Young with 2 E's. That's simple.
Cool. Nick?
All my social media is all the same. At Nick Halen brand. You can find me on any of those. All you got to do is search it up.
Love it. Skrilla?
Same thing. Just search Skrilla the Great and you'll find me on any platform.
Right. Okay. Hollywood Hunter?
It's Hollywood HJ. Everywhere you go, except for TikTok, where I get to have a little more fun. It's She Loves Hunter James because she loves Hunter James. So She Loves Hunter J. Roll it.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Best of luck this weekend. Stick around for a couple minutes after. Thank you guys so much for enjoying this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Remember to hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're following the Main Event Network on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We're everywhere. Thank you to my guests once again. We will be back at 8:30 with our Wind Down Wednesday edition of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. So as I take a brief break and go get a bottle of wine and wait for the podcast dad to show up and help me out today. Thank you guys so much. This has been Mr. Cincinnati, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yes, sir.